My name is Candace Fisher-McLean, and I'm a Housing and Environmental Design Specialist with the University of Missouri Extension. Anytime you're moving into a new apartment, it's important to perform a thorough inspection of the apartment with your landlord present before you move into the unit. A rental inspection checklist should be filled out and signed by both you and your landlord. A copy of the rental inspection checklist can be found at our website. The rental condition checklist will give you a chance to move room by room through your apartment and note the specific conditions of each room before you move into the unit. Any damages noted before you move in can then be compared to the condition of the unit when you move out of the apartment. You may want your landlord to fix some damages that you note on the checklist before you move in. For example, if there's like a small hole in the wall, you may want them to patch that before you move into the apartment. Other conditions can just be noted on the checklist. For example, if there's scuffs on the paint or if there's a stain on the carpet, that should just be noted on the checklist so that you are not held responsible for those damages. So as you walk into the unit, you should first take a look at the front door. What does the overall condition of the door look like? Does it look like there's any damages? And then go ahead and take a look at the doorknob and the lock. Do the lock and the knob seem like they're secure? Make sure they're not coming loose from the door. Go ahead and open and shut the door. Make sure the door shuts securely. Also make sure it's not sticking when you open and close it. Go ahead and you can turn the lock on the knob to make sure that's locking properly. You want to make sure that all of your locks are working properly on your front door because this relates directly to the security of your unit. On the outside, there's a spot for a key. You should have the key with you, put the key in the lock, and make sure that your key is working properly. Go ahead and look at the condition of the inside of the door. As you can see on this one, it looks like the knob is a little bit loose. So that's something that you should discuss with your landlord. Note the condition on the checklist, maybe take a picture of it. It looks like this apartment was just freshly painted, so there aren't any holes in the walls from pictures, posters, artwork, or mirrors. But if there is, that's something that you should note on the checklist. So take a look at the flooring in the living room and throughout the entire unit. What kind of materials are composing the floor? And what kind of condition is it in? So is the floor made of hardwood, laminate, carpet, tile, vinyl? In this room, they have carpet. And so you want to look at the overall condition of the carpet. Does it look like, in general, that it's clean? Can you see any stains on the carpet? Are there any spots that are worn, that are torn, or that are coming loose? If there are, you should discuss that with your landlord, and you should also note the condition of the flooring in the room on the rental condition checklist. So if the flooring is composed of hardwood or laminate, you just want to look at the condition of the floor. Are there any large scratches or dents on the floor? Are there any boards that are loose, rotted, or warped, coming loose? If there is, take a picture of that, discuss it with your landlord, and make sure that it's noted. Take a look at the ceiling and the light fixtures in the room. Does it look like there's any visible damage to the ceiling? Are there any stains on the ceiling that maybe potentially could have been caused by water damage? Are the light fixtures in the room, do they look like they're in good condition? You can see this light fixture is on. It looks like all the light bulbs are in place and that it looks like it's working properly. Go ahead and turn the light switch on and off just to make sure that the light is working properly. And go ahead and do that in every room just to see that all the lights are working properly. Go ahead and take a look at the windows in the room. Make sure that there isn't any broken glass, that there aren't any screens that are damaged. Go ahead and open and close the window. We want to make sure that the window is operating properly. If there are blinds on the window, you want to make sure that the blinds are in good repair and that they open and close easily. Go ahead and look at the trim around the window. Make sure that the trim is not rotted or is not damaged in any way. The trimmer on this window looks like it's in really good shape. In the kitchen, we're gonna go ahead and look at the floor because the flooring is different in the kitchen than it was in the living room. In here they have this is called sheet vinyl. So you just wanna go ahead and look at the overall condition of the sheet vinyl, make sure there aren't any spots that are ripped, torn, damaged, or stained in any places. If there is any major damage, discuss that with your landlord if you think that it needs to be fixed immediately. If not, go ahead and just note the condition on the checklist, take a picture of it so that you are not held responsible for any damages when you move out. If your kitchen would happen to have ceramic tile, you want to look at the ceramic tile and make sure that there aren't any tiles that are chipped or broken or loose. For ceramic tile, it's not a bad idea to actually tap on the tile. If you hear a hollow sound, the tile is probably damaged and coming loose from the mortar underneath, which means it's going to cause a problem later. You also want to look at the grout lines between the tile and just make sure there isn't any grout that's missing or coming loose from the tile. And again, just go ahead and note the overall condition on the checklist. So go ahead and look at the cabinets and the drawers in the kitchen and make sure that they all open and close easily. Make sure that the hinges are not loose, that the door seems like it's nice and secure. Make sure there aren't any knobs or handles that are loose or missing. Go ahead and open the cabinet doors and just make sure that they look like they're clean, that there's no evidence of any insect or rodent droppings, and that all of the shelves are secure and that they are all in place. And again, see on this one, the magnetic latch is a little bit loose. Again, that's something you could discuss with your landlord or simply just note it on the rental condition checklist. Now let's go ahead and turn on the kitchen sink. Make sure that it seems like the sink is draining properly. Is there any leaks around the faucet? Make sure that the water is coming out clear, that the water is coming out hot, and that there is good water pressure. It looks like the water pressure here is pretty good. Go ahead and check to make sure that this is working properly. If there's a garbage disposal, go ahead and turn the garbage disposal on just to make sure that that is working properly. While the water is on, go ahead and look underneath the kitchen sink just to make sure that there's no water that is dripping from the pipes underneath. Look at the bottom of the cabinet underneath the sink to see if it looks like there's any signs of past water damage. And again, go ahead and discuss any problems with your landlord and note the overall condition on the rental checklist. So now take a look at the stove and note whether the stove is gas or electric. This stove happens to be an electric stove. If the stove would happen to be gas, you just want to turn the burners on and make sure that there is a nice, even blue flame. Now go ahead and turn the burners on just to make sure that they are working properly. You can feel heat coming from this burner and you can see that the light is on. Go ahead and open the oven and make sure that, turn the oven on, make sure the oven is working properly. Make sure that the oven is clean and that all of the racks are present in the oven. Look at the gasket around the door. The gasket is the part that is going to make the door seal with the rest of the unit. Make sure that is in good repair. And just go ahead and note the overall condition of the stove and the oven. Make sure there aren't any major dents or scratches. And note the condition of the unit on the rental condition checklist. If there's a dishwasher in the kitchen, open the dishwasher and make sure that the door opens and closes properly. Go ahead and pull the racks out to make sure that they all pull out correctly. Check the arm of the dishwasher to make sure that it's spinning correctly and that there's nothing obstructing the arm in the dishwasher. Go ahead and note the overall condition of the dishwasher on the inside. It's also probably a good idea to turn the dishwasher on just to make sure that it is working properly. Also, look around the bottom and the sides of the dishwasher to make sure that there aren't any signs of visible leaks or water damage from previous use. Go ahead and open and close the door to the refrigerator. Make sure that's in good repair. Check the gasket again around the inside of the door to make sure that it's not ripped, torn, or damaged in any way, because again, this is what is going to make the door seal with the rest of the unit. Make sure that all of the shelves and drawers are in good condition and that they are all present. Make sure there's no major scratches or dents. In the bathroom there should be an exhaust fan, so let's make sure that the exhaust fan is working properly. There should also be a GFCI outlet next to the sink, and we just want to test that to make sure it's working properly. Go ahead and note the condition of the mirror above the sink and make sure that that's working properly, that all of the shelves are in place in the medicine cabinet. So now we're going to talk about the toilet. So you just want to, again, note the overall condition of the toilet, make sure that it's flushing properly. Wait and listen after it flushes to make sure that the toilet doesn't continue to run. It doesn't hurt to open the lid to the toilet and just make sure, it may be difficult to know what you're looking at, but just make sure that everything looks like it's in proper working order. Make sure that there aren't any visible damages or cracks to the lid or the tank of the toilet. Look around the base of the toilet. Make sure the toilet doesn't feel like it's coming loose in any way. This toilet's pretty sturdy and secure to the floor. Make sure that there's no signs of visible water damage around the base of the toilet. You want to ask the landlord where the furnace in your apartment is located and when was the last time that it was cleaned and serviced. You also want to ask the landlord who is going to be responsible for changing the filters in the furnace. Is that going to be your responsibility, or will the landlord take care of that? You also want to find if there happens to be a washer and dryer in your unit, which some apartments do and some don't. But again, you just want to make sure that the washer and dryer are operating correctly and that the overall condition of the washer and dryer looks like it's in good condition. Finally, as you walk through the rest of the apartment, note the flooring, note the walls, the ceiling, the overall condition of the spaces just as we discussed in the living room, in the kitchen, and note any damages on the rental condition checklist. If you have any additional questions, you can contact the University of Missouri Extension at our website.